Scientists agree that the best chances of finding alien life will be on planets similar to ours. And, descriptions of extraterrestrials seem to resemble humans in many ways. Some ancient astronaut theorists draw a surprising conclusion from these facts, suggesting that, aliens might actually be human.
It is odd that many of the descriptions of aliens are effectively humanoid, and this raises an interesting possibility. One idea that's been put forward is that these are not extraterrestrials at all, but they are time travelers from the future. They could be us from thousands, maybe even millions of years from now. Let's assume for a moment that, thousands of years from now on this planet, if we all survived, that time travel was created. They've invented it, just like the time machine from H.G. Wells' days. So they can go back or they can go forward. So let's assume thousands of years from now, we decide to come back to see us. Maybe they have changed physically. They look like the alien Greys or whoever they may be. It could well be that ancient astronauts might not be creatures from other planets at all, but time travelers from, in a time machine.
Time travel is an essential concept for science fiction, but would it be possible for flesh and blood humans to find a way to transport themselves through time with current technology? Would this enable us to cover the vast distances of space?
If I could travel close to the speed of light, I could reach the year, say, in a couple of years. I have to get very close to the speed of light for that. But it's doable, and we know that this isn't a theory. This is real physics. We can demonstrate these time-moving effects, so you can reach the future quicker by traveling close to the speed of light.
The concept of time travel was first proposed by Albert Einstein when he published his theory of special relativity. Ancient astronaut theory says that astronauts visited us a long time ago from somewhere else.
The technology involved in doing that, we would assume, would be similar to what we understand now. We know special relativity is the law of physics. It holds anywhere in the universe. Ancient astronaut would come all the way here and travel these large distances and not age that much relative to their home planet. Because if you're getting close enough to the speed of light, you will have slowed down time enough that when you get back, hundreds, thousands, or even millions of years could have passed.
One limitation to this method of travel is that, because a spacecraft has mass, it theoretically cannot reach the exact speed of light. The resulting reduction in velocity would then dramatically increase the amount of time needed to cross the vast universe.
While there's definitely many theories about how extraterrestrials got here, how their propulsion system got them to planet Earth, they're surely not coming here the way we go out in the space. They'd never get here. They are finding different ways. They have either developed a new form of propulsion or they're able to travel through what I've always believed, wormholes throughout the universe that would instantaneously put them here.
The idea of wormholes was first proposed by Albert Einstein and his longtime collaborator Nathan Rosen. They began to explore the possibility that space and time could literally be bent to create a time travel shortcut.
Wormholes have not been detected. There are postulated structures in space that involve actually taking, if you think of a sheet of paper, bending it in half and connecting the two pieces that you get together. A wormhole is thought to do something like that. Now, space gets warped and it connects between two different parts of space. There's predictions about what they would look like, there's theories about them, but we haven't detected one yet. You're not actually ever traveling faster than the speed of light, you're just cutting corners. You don't actually have to go light speed and travel for light years to someplace. You literally go there through a wormhole and through hyperspace, and bang, you're there. If you can have a wormhole in space, then it can be turned in principle into a time machine. And so, travel back in time as well as forward in time would then be possible. The problem is, where do you get your wormhole? It's not inconceivable that wormholes were made in the Big Bang, crafted out along with everything else. There might be one out there in the universe we could harvest and adapt to form a time machine.
The Mahabharata, in this sacred Indian text written in the 4th century BC, King Ravaita is described as traveling to the heavens to meet with the creator god Brahma, only to return to Earth hundreds of years in the future. Some researchers believe this Hindu tale may be one of the oldest records of successful time travel in the ancient past.
There's the story of a king called Ravaita, and he is taken into space to see the gods. And when he returns to the earth, he finds that many ages have gone by and it's been hundreds of years. And this is the kind of thing that would happen to space travelers and in time travel as well. You think you're gone for only a few days, but when you return to Earth, you find out that you've been gone for hundreds of years.
Like the legend of Chaco Canyon, similar tales of time travel can be found all around the ancient world. In Japan, the legend of Urashima Taro details a fisherman's visit to the protector god of the sea, Ryujin, in an underwater palace for what seemed like only 3 days. When he returns to his fishing village, he finds that it's been years that he's been gone.
And his house is in ruins. Everybody he knows is long dead. No one remembers him or his family.
And in the Hebrew Bible, descriptions of the prophet Jeremiah in Jerusalem are eerily similar to both of these accounts of time travel.
Even in the Bible, the prophet Jeremiah was sitting together with a few of his friends, and there was a young boy. His name was Abimelech. And Jeremiah said to Abimelech, "Go out of Jerusalem, there's a hill, and collect some figs for us." The boy went out and collected the fresh figs. All of a sudden, Abimelech hears some noise and wind in the air, and he became unconscious. He had a blackout. After a time, he wakes up again, and he saw it was nearly the evening. So he runs back to the society, and the city was full of strange soldiers. And he said, "What's going on here? Where is Jeremiah and all the others?" And an old man said, "That was years ago. It's a time travel story written in the Bible."
Ever since the infamous UFO incident in Roswell, New Mexico, there have been thousands of reports of extraterrestrial sightings, and even first-hand accounts of alien abductions. Described as humanoids with large heads and small bodies, researchers believe these beings might in fact be an alien species that some call the Greys.
These aliens look not too dissimilar from us. They have heads, they have hands, they have 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, a nose, a rudimentary mouth. They certainly, in their descriptions, appear to be pretty close to us, or what they kind of look like is very, very early science fiction concepts of how the human race would eventually evolve over the eons.
If you look at the extraterrestrials that are described, the Greys that are related to the Roswell incident, you'll see that their forms, in many ways, resemble what we might project or predict that we could look like in the future if we became a spacefaring race. The Roswell crash in New Mexico, in fact, happened coincidentally close to the birthday of the Egyptian goddess Isis. So you have to wonder too if these so-called alien bodies that were allegedly found at the Roswell crash, with thin bodies and big heads, if they weren't some kind of time-traveling extraterrestrials.
Is it possible the beings believed to have been recovered at Roswell traveled here from the star Sirius, just like the Egyptian goddess Isis, as some ancient astronaut theorists believe? And might they be coming here using advanced expertise in space-time technology?
I would think that it's quite possible that the alien visitors, if they're proved to be the way we think they are, that they're using certain forms of teleportation perhaps, or certainly they have propulsion devices that can approach the speed of light. What we do know is that the physics of our planet, quantum physics and string theory, have moved the ball so much further than it was in the last century to saying there are no mathematical restrictions on time travel to the future or to the past. And that once you know that the physics community is saying there are no restrictions, it's just us finding out how do we do this. Time travel is basically the same as teleportation. We could go from place to place on Earth in a matter of milliseconds. This would revolutionize all kinds of travel at the same time our connections between us and any other civilization, and including civilizations on other planets as well.
But just who really are these otherworldly creatures called the Greys? Is it possible they came to Earth not from outer space,